Do you know how many independent films have broken $100 million at the box office? I'll tell you. I'll give you 9, but there are a ton more. We'll start with the Blair Witch Project, which came out in 1999. It did $248 million at the box office. It was a horror phenomenon that was made for just $60,000, and it became a massive success. Let me check that. I don't believe that. Blair Witch Project. Yeah. It became a massive success through innovative marketing and its found footage style, which was new then, but is very, very, very much played out now. It was distributed by Artisan Entertainment, but it was created independently. Now, that takes us to My Big Fat Greek Wedding from 2002. It did $368 million in the box office and was produced on a $5 million budget. It's a romantic comedy. It became one of the highest grossing indie films of all time, particularly through word of mouth when people watched it and loved it and talked about it. And despite being a multi-million-dollar budget, it made a huge return on investment and moved on to be distributed by IFC Films in the US and Universal Pictures internationally. A movie after my own heart, JUNO, that came out in 2007, the year I graduated high school, not to age myself, did $231 million in the box office and was made for just about $7.5 million. It was a coming-of-age indie hit that earned widespread acclaim and resonated deeply with many audiences. It was distributed by Fox Searchlight Pictures, but produced independently, which then brings us to Mel Gibs. Problematic as he is, The Passion of the Christ, which came out in 2004, was almost entirely funded by him for about $30 million, and it churned out a massive $612 million at the box office. It's a religious epic, and it became one of the highest grossing indie films ever, and then went on to be distributed by Newmarket Films. Now, you have probably heard of this one. Slumdog Millionaire came out in 2008. It did about $378 million in the box office and was produced with a budget of $15 million. It's a Danny Boyle directed film. It won 8 Academy Awards and became a global success before being distributed by Fox Searchlight Pictures and Warner Brothers Pictures. Paranormal Activity, that's a notorious indie horror film, made about $193 million at the box office and was made for just about $15,000. It's a found footage horror film. Once again, played out. Don't do a found footage film now. They are well overdone. Well, they are more well done than when I make my Thanksgiving rolls every year. Those things are pretty well done hockey pucks, and so is found footage horror films. Now, it grossed about $200 million and became a cultural and box office phenomenon just off of that $15,000 budget, and then was distributed by Paramount Pictures. If you're into the historical thing, The King's Speech came out in 2010. It did about $427 million in the box office. It was a historical drama produced on a $15 million budget that went on to win several Oscars, including Best Picture, and then it was distributed by the problematic Weinstein Company. And you've probably heard also of Goodwill Hunting from 1997, did $225 million in the box office and was made for about $10 million. It was an indie drama, and it launched the careers of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who were already acting, but not to this acclaim. They also wrote the screenplay. It was distributed by Miramax. Lost in Translation from 2003 did about $119 million in the box office. It was directed by Sofia Coppola. It's an intimate film made on a $4 million budget. It became an indie classic thanks to its nuanced storytelling and performances, and then was distributed by Focus Features. Little Miss Sunshine with Greg Kinnear, one of the Fannings, I think, and Steve Carell, and it has that one guy in it. Anyway, it did about $101 million in the box office, made on an $8 million budget. That's return on investment. It's a quirky comedy about dysfunctional family, and it resonated with audiences, especially me and my quirky family. It won 2 Academy Awards and then was distributed by Fox Searchlight Pictures.